And I am live. It's Friday. It's Friday, June 6th. I have a niece who has a 19th birthday today. Happy birthday, Briar. And I hope you guys are enjoying what is threatening to be the summer. I'm Spencer Foreman from WP LaunchFi, here every Friday for live office hours. Good morning. I am finally getting my camera and my mic worked out. Hello, Karina. Good morning. Hey, bueno. John, good morning. Lloyd, everybody else would like to say hi. I appreciate you guys, and I love it when you're here. Today, it is on the way to 70 something. I got 8 solid hours. I forced myself as part of my sleep hack to go to bed at an hour that would allow me to catch up, because yesterday, I got to admit, some of you who spoke to me, I was brain dead, just literally unable to make a thought. I only had 5 hours of sleep. So today, feel much better. Very, very excited about what I'm going to share. I'm continuing with my ongoing series of teaching you how my workflow using the latest tools, not just the minute launch system under the hood, but also AI, are really quite revolutionizing the way we do business. And today I want to take a deep dive under the kimono, behind the curtain, whatever metaphor you wish, on how we do marketing, how I do marketing, how you should be doing marketing in a modern world, because things are different. The clients are different. People's attitudes are different. AI is different. Good morning, Sharon, as well. I love to see you guys all here. I appreciate you taking the time. Today, I'm going to share what I do because it's demonstrably working. And some of the things that you have seen in little tidbits, but I wanted to put it together in one office hours, because I think marketing is really the big word underneath almost everything that I've done since I was 10 years old, right? I tell the famous story of Spence, the porn king of Camp Menominee, how I learned how to rent out my dad's Playboy magazines at 10 years old, made a fortune, got busted, and realized I was never going to be anything other than an entrepreneur my whole life. I'm also going to use my Neato little pan and tilt camera, which is working out in 4K. So let's dive in. First of all, I want to explain, I actually had talked to several of my AI companions this morning. We had a meeting, and I asked it a question about what I can do for today's office hours. Now, this is actually a good starting point, because in the world that I live in, I believe that AI has really changed my ability as an individual to do more things more rapidly. So let's set the stage. Yesterday had a really busy day, very productive day, but I was working on maybe 2 out of 8 cylinders in my brain. I prefer in my own world to do things at the last minute. I don't know why that is, but I can't prepare things 2 days, 4 days ahead. I can only prepare like 5 minutes ahead. This has been historically true in business and in personal stuff. I just work better under pressure. This morning, I knew that when I got up, I was feeling groovy, that I could prepare for today's thing, but I wanted to gut check what we're going to talk about. So from a marketing standpoint, I'm going to share with you what I did. And I don't think there's anything here I can't share. So I'm going to switch screens a little bit, and I'm just going to show you literally my actual stuff from this morning. So nothing is going to be withheld other than some of the names and faces if necessary for privacy. So what I did here is I have a variety of tools, and I want to talk about the AI tools more specifically. But for this kind of thing of asking, what the heck is it should I do? I just almost always default to ChatGPT. When we discuss vibe coding, vibe this, vibe that, what it means is you're trying to use the modern agentic tools in a way that allows them to assist you in the workflow, versus in the old days, I would have planned. So in this case, I like ChatGPT amongst all of the ones that I use, because, and particularly this new model, great at coding and visual reasoning, either of these O4 models are really fast. I do pay for premium. With ChatGPT, I pay $20 a month. Believe it or not, with Claude, I'm up to the $200 a month thing, and I'm not happy with it. I'm probably going to cancel that, go back to the $20 a month. Why? ChatGPT seems very fluid for these things. And so I selected this model, and then what I did, as I said, that's not what I said. I said here, where are you? Come on, sorry. I asked it this question. And by the way, let me know if this is hard to read. I'm going to zoom it up a bit and it's going to look wonky, but I just want to give you a sense what I did. I said, "Hey, ChatGPT." And by the way, I can talk to it because one of the tools that I could use or do use is called Whisper Talk, which I'm going to show. Let me just show you that real quick. Whisper Talk. That is not what I use. That's interesting. Software for PC. Okay, so it's called Whisper, and it's free. And what it allows you to do is you hold two fingers down on Control and Shift, and if you've got a microphone, as I do, you can just talk. So if you're not like a fan of typing or you type slow, I happen to type really fast. You could just use Whisper Talk. And I said this: if you looked at the titles and subject of all my recent 1 year or so YouTube videos at youtube.com/WP what would be a good topic for today's office hour show? I like to be very meta with you. The plumber is going to teach you how to fix the toilet by using the toilet in his own house that he hasn't fixed because he's a plumber too busy fixing your toilet. So I like to use the very same tools. In fact, I think I would be disingenuous if I didn't use the very same tools and test them. That's my superpower. This gave a 19-second thought, and it gave me a pretty interesting topic, which we ended up with today. Build a seamless WordPress marketing automation workflow. And I thought, yeah, brilliant. You know what? Like, let's do that. And then what it gave me, of course, was an outline. Some of these things were pretty good, but what it did, and that's the takeaway. Number one, in the past, I might have made a list. In the past, I might have manually looked at all the things I've done before, including in 1WDTV. In the past, I might have just done some research. There's no point in that anymore. Instead, with vibe coding agentic interaction, you use the tool to leverage your capabilities to do things faster. And even if you still use your cabeza, Karina, it makes it faster for you to trigger something as an aha moment. Okay. Step two for the marketing. I use this particular product. And by the way, I'm going to talk about more general marketing as well, email marketing, but I just want to show you what I did for today's marketing. This is marketing. I use StreamYard. It's looking wonky because I've got it zoomed in here. So let me go to 100%. This is probably the best tool that I know of right now for doing ad hoc creation and streaming one-to-many. There are other things, but I just love this. And I think I pay, I don't think I pay that much. I think I pay $20 a month or something like that. I'm not sure if I go into billing where it's at, that might be it. But let me just show you, for example, StreamYard. Why is this useful? StreamYard is whenever, basic plan, $20 a month, or professionals $39 a month. Whenever you're going to do something with more than one person, like outside of the realm of Zoom or Microsoft Meet or stuff like that, it's better to go ahead and use a tool like StreamYard, because what this allows me to do is create content. I love that it goes automatically to YouTube. So when I go into the studio, this allows me to set up and share on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, any of the social media. I can create and post a live stream. I just do it on the two things of Facebook and YouTube, because that's what gives me it gives me a creation here, which is awesome. You can kind of see inside of YouTube where I'm able to go ahead and immediately have something that I know is going to have access to a jillion people using the marketing tactic that I've shared with you before, which is if you go ahead and create content on YouTube in 2025, they have opened the floodgates. All of the stuff they used to bullshit you about is no longer applicable. I mean, I don't know how long this is going to last, but watch this. Like I've shown you before. If I type in the words fluent community in YouTube or in Google search, if you make a video, doesn't matter if it's 10 seconds, 2.5 minutes, you are going to likely end up with something that ranks on the first page. So as I've done many, many times, I haven't even made a Fluent Community video in ages. February 19th, I think. I've got one video here, 2 videos, 3 videos, 4 videos, 5 videos, 6 videos. I mean, it's kind of crazy. If I do another search, Vibe coding WordPress. Come on. There's got to be a jillion of those, right? Let's see what shows up. There I am. Front page of Google for vibe coding WordPress. And if I go to YouTube, I get the kind of same results, right? I've proven to, I don't know what's wrong with them. I love it, but why would anybody spend money on Facebook ads when you could just create some content and essentially put a few keywords in there? And as long as it's not like, how to make brownies, you're going to show up on the front page. Now, this isn't fair because this is my account, but if on your account, or if I did this incognito, you search the same thing, right? Like vibe coding WordPress, that should be pretty big number of videos, right? But look, I'm number 3 today, and I'm probably going to show up for one of those other videos on the front page for maybe a second of scroll. Okay. Definitely for the flu and stuff, it seems to work really well. Anything that I do that has enough information to find me usually wins. I'll take the win on the top 3 in this one, but I bet you there's a second video. There it is. So from the standpoint of what you're creating, I love streaming using StreamYard into YouTube, because YouTube is my free elevator to the stars. Instead of spending money on ads, I make content that can be discovered, but also YouTube is ubiquitous, right? It's shared and available to everybody anywhere. And in that way, you can make it where this could show up on other streams. If you like to use TikTok or Instagram or any other place, LinkedIn, putting it YouTube can be universally used as the lever to get it there as well. But I'm saying fish in that little pond of people versus fishing in the big ocean of God knows what. So takeaway number 1, I wish I had I need to do numbers. I think it let me have some cool things here. I don't usually use these tools, but let me see if it has no. Okay. Cinematic overtone. I thought it had a thing that it lets me do number 1, but I'm just going to do number 1. Takeaway today. Don't pay for ads. Create content, put a couple keywords in the content and post it to YouTube. That is your new marketing vehicle in a world where AI is going nuts. And as you can tell, being very meta, when I asked AI to go research my own YouTube channel, it had no problems at all finding it, researching it, and giving me an answer. Furthermore, what it did is it shared its thoughts, which we can look at. Let's look into its thoughts. I asked it, would you make the slide deck for me? Because I'm lazy. And it's like, I don't have their logo. I could have said something about that. Oh, it wants it in a PDF. I can't. I use a placeholder. And then it did a little Python, which I love about ChatGPT. It runs Python itself, created some slides, and then it spit out an initial download, which I said, hey, man, I just copied my thing. I'll just throw this in. Why don't you give me this? And it did continue making a reasonable shot at it, but it kind of looked like crap, to be honest. This is what it ended. Oh, it expired. Let me see if I still have it. It looked kind of like crap. So I said, well, let's go back to square one. I love Canva. Here comes tip number 2, takeaway 2. If you don't use Canva, you're really missing out. Canva is for everybody from rookies to professionals. I don't think anybody, including if you're here, my pal Vince DePinto, who's a professional digital designer, artist his whole life, and now is killing it with the Minute Launch. He will be appearing in some videos with me in the future. Even he is using Canva now. Why? Because the other tools are ridiculous. And yes, I can use Veo or Imagine or Flow to create digital images, digital video. But boy, oh boy, Canva provides this amazing experience. So for me, I've already got a library of stuff. And if I want to create something new, I usually just take what I used before and start with that, right? I can use any of these things I previously used, or I can just start from scratch. But whichever way I do it, then I just drop in the stuff that looks super cool. And it gives me plenty of inspiration. Even though technically I could do this 100% with AI, I don't need to, because this is ridiculous. If I type in business idea. It will give me some templates. I start with this. Okay. Now here's Spence's make a thumbnail for my marketing of the morning. I get rid of this dude. And then I go into what I've previously uploaded, which is a clever picture of Spence. And guess what I made that with? I made that in the past using Canva, because Canva lets me do what we call compositing in 2 seconds flat. I can take the Spence picture, drop it into a circle, automatically change the border, put the cool shadowed launch club. The tools on this are like, come on, you're going to fart around with Photoshop? I don't think so. Now, I then try to do what I need for the words, right? Hot new, launch ideas, right? And I just change the thing. I can change the alignment as I need, or in this case, I can just, drag it over. I also can do the order of, which direction it is. So, or which layer. So for example, here, if I do position, I'll say, bring that to the front. And maybe I'll put this now to the front a little bit. Drag this all over, right? I'm done. I got my logo. I got my face. I got my thing. I save it by putting it here, hot new launch ideas. I then click share. I love this feature. This allows me to select any or all of a series of images that I've made. I can even make them into a website automatically. But what I do is I say limit file size to 180 kilobits as a PNG, because that's enough to give me the 1280 by 720 image resolution I need without it turning into a 1200 kilobit file, like 1 megabyte plus. That's too much. So now I've got essentially, I'll drag and drop it for you. I've got essentially what you're seeing here with today's image. Let me schlep this into there. I've now got essentially, got to move some stuff so I can see it. Ta-da. Okay. Canva for the win. Hey, Chris. Good to see you, my friend. I hope to see you in person. I'm planning on coming to the West Coast this summer. Finally. So now we've got the image. This serves 2 purposes. Number 1, with YouTube, okay, when I'm actually editing this, and this one is weird because I'm logged into a different account. So let me see, without revealing all my inner secrets here, if I can switch over to my proper account. I've never done this live while I'm doing it. Hopefully I won't break today's show. But I got to switch over to WP Launchify. There we go. Okay, so when I'm in here, I can edit the thumbnail, right? So I just edit the video. Hopefully, again, this isn't breaking it while I'm doing it live. Never tried it. If I cut off, you know why. Here, the thumbnail, you can use your custom thumbnail. So it serves as the thumbnail. Next, what do I do with this thing? From a marketing standpoint, let's go back here to view this on the front. From a marketing standpoint, YouTube provides me the lazy man's tools, lazy person tools that I am going to be changing soon into being fully automated. That is to say, I click the share button here and I can immediately create a post that goes to the 3 networks that I care about, the 3 small ponds that have potential prospects in them for me. Obviously, there's YouTube already. There's Facebook with my business profile, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I also kind of still throw stuff at Blue Sky, but I think now that the rebels have put up a fight against the Galactic Empire, I think a lot of people, including me, are back on X and just grinding away at it. So either way your politics are, the point is that I start with X because that actually gives me a pretty good format. It's short and sweet by necessity. And again, with this, what I'll often do is just change this a little bit, quickly and more. I'm not going to post this. Now, normally a thumbnail would show up, but for some reason X doesn't do that. So I just grab the thumbnail and I pop that bad boy in there and I'm ready to go. And to save time right now, manual Spence, using mis manos, see, Karina? I copy this. It's just, you can't see me overlaying. I right-clicked and copied that because I'm lazy. If I post this, it shows up and I'm done. I'm not going to post this here. But then what I will do is I will go on to, for example, LinkedIn, and I will already have the thing in my copy paste. So it's, even for lazy Spence, pretty darn fast to just go ahead and click post because it shows up at the top. I do get a lot of action on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, still a lot of spammers. Now watch, this will actually, if it was a legitimate thing, pull the thumbnail. I don't know why X isn't doing it. Then I'll go on to Facebook and I'll go on to do that at Blue Sky. And then in Facebook or Blue Sky, I have a little different thing. But here, what I do is I feature it at the top of my profile. So when you post something, you have an option that allows you to feature it. And that's what I do here, because it seems to me this is the easiest way for people who actually come and watch my stuff. I got 5,500 or so to actually see what is the thing that Spence is talking about today. Finally, the thing you've all really, I think, need to know that's not yet been described automatically, but I'm getting to it, is I use, excuse me, I use my Fluent CRM for sending out the marketing campaign. I'm going to have some Arm & Hammer baking soda saline. Too much talking makes Spence a dull boy. I'm actually going to log in here. I'm not afraid to show you this. I have a few folks, my apologies, who might show up as context. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance, but I'm not going to show any other details about you. I use Fluent CRM as my hub. Let me describe what I mean. I'm going to go with a piece of Trident gum here if I need to. I use Fluent CRM as the centerpiece of multiple WordPress sites, WP Launchify, WP Launch Kit, Minute Launch, down the line, probably 7 sites. All of those folks are related to me by the stuff that we're talking about now. So I use one CRM to manage all of that, including access control and lots of other things, because these are the amazing tools that we have all been blessed with that I'm showing you how to use. They're in the Minute Launch system, and I've been using them and customizing them and giving them to you because I found it's incredible. Even the Minute Launch system runs using Fluent CRM off of WP Launchify, but it talks to the hub. This is the part I am describing to you. I have often said, I'm not going to tell you how much I make, but I will reveal today that when you go to my dashboard, I've got about 4,300 active people. Okay. I don't do high volume. I do very concierge business. You can do the math yourself, but the point I'm saying is this is what I do when I make my email campaigns. I'm going to show you 2 tricks here. Number 1, here's today's thing, but let's downgrade this. Fluent CRM is how I send out the email. Let's look at last week's, where I did live office hour, vibe coding, a dynamic testimonial slider. That was pretty popular. I sent out 4,300 emails to the whole list. I can look at the reports too. And I got a pretty good response. This is what I would call industry normal for me. I got an roughly 18, almost 19% open rate, which is, I think, pretty average for the industry. Let's ask ChatGPT. Hey, Chat GPT, what is the industry standard for WordPress for open rate on marketing emails? I don't know. It used to be around 15 to 18%. This may be right. It may be wrong. I may be crazy. Who knows? Let's see what it says. I would maybe use something other than 04 Mini. This is like asking a PhD a question. Never in a billion years have I ever seen anybody get a 50% open rate. That's just insane. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't even agree with 40%. I'm going to go on record and say, I manage a lot of clients. I don't get anybody getting 40 to 50%. I disagree. I'm going to take another. Let's ask somebody else. Not just for me, because I'm happy. I'm just sending out a notice of an office hours, not I have a cure for, some disease. What's a modern 2025 average open rate for notice of an office hours with a WordPress audience? My point is, if you get 15 to 20, 25%, I think you're doing pretty good on an open rate. There we go. This comes down automatically 25%, 25, 30%. If I kept asking the question, I'll get like 30 different answers. I'm going to have to just ask you guys to trust me on that. It's irrelevant to the bigger picture because you're still going to send the emails. I'm satisfied with 18% with you guys because I sent it out this morning. I sent it out the morning of. So if I sent it a week, a month ahead, maybe I'd get a better open. I don't care. The click rate is 0.43. Why? Because I market in the same spot. Everybody knows that I put my stuff at WP Launch Kit so that nobody has to get an email from me. Takeaway number 3. You got a WordPress site. It's like a giant health club in the middle of the most popular mall of your town. You don't have to keep telling everybody everything about what's going to happen. Just say, we're doing something at the WordPress site at 10 o'clock Friday, like every day for the last, God knows, 10 years. Okay. You don't need people to click through to know. They just need to read the title. Yeah, I like that. I don't like that. That's the point. Do you see? Are you guys with me? The point of modern marketing is not to do 15 emails, not to do long form emails. It's to be like a text message from a friend. Spence here, it's me. I'm doing this thing about vibe coding blank. Friday, 10 o'clock. Be there. Come to the health club. Work out with me. That's what I do here. You can park yours anywhere. Everybody can come and read the details, see the preview, get the upsell just by going to this is a WP Launch Kit, but this is also could be your main website. It doesn't matter. You don't need a long email. So to that end, like today, I basically give a couple key factors, and this is important. I would prefer emails all look like a text message today. Why? Because I get 350 emails a day. I don't know about you. I asked a guy who was very popular with business how many he got, and he said 6. And I said, you don't really email people, do you? He says, no, my secretary does it. I said, well, in the real world, the rest of us who do this for a living get like 100, 200. Chris, how many do you get a day? Karina, Sharon, type in a number. I would venture to guess most of us get 50 to 100 minimum. I get 350 a day sometimes. So when I send them out, I just use the placeholder of Fluent. Hi, contact first name. It's Spence. And then I try to just do 1 or 2 paragraphs, which are the same things that I did in YouTube about the topic. And I'll tell you how that works out too in a second using AI. And then I have a link. And this is the exception to my rule. You get more SMS a day, which would drive me crazy because my SMS lights up and I just get irate. I cannot stand being spammed on SMS whatsoever. There you go. Sharon, I think, is representative. She's very well-to-do, popular in the tech world. 2 to 350. Karina, similar, a professional, runs an agency. 3 to 400. That's the world we live in. It's a busy channel. SMS. It's an interesting topic with Chris because I don't like SMS to use or to receive because the FCC in particular has made it egregiously hard if you want to follow the law and not get shut down. But more importantly, I hate people who send me an unsolicited marketing SMS. That's like literally somebody left a note on my bed in my bedroom. They just broke into my house. I didn't give you permission to do that. Especially when you get it from a list. That's nonsense. Email, I tolerate. It's a mailbox. It's in front of my house. Yes, agreed. And so I have one of my clients that does really well that we've talked about this endlessly. They have a marketing team that's been using SMS, and I'm like, knock it off. And the SMS, by the way, leads to more spam because it's just people who are up to no good, in my opinion. You get these emails that claim to be from the Illinois Tollway Authority, and you're going to be arrested for violating the toll booth. And then it's got a Manila, Philippines area code. Really? Really? We're that stupid now? Okay. I mean, shame on the world for trying to be cockroaches. Anyway, what I do here is I violate the little bit of my don't put too much stuff, make it a text message. Because if I put the image, I think that inspires people. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because I like to be fun and campy with the images. And I just think it's, like you can't get that on SMS all of the time. I like being able to actually show you an image, and that I think you read more in the image of the box than you do from the words that I say. Okay. In any event, short, sweet, to the point, virtually no click rate because nobody needs to click, but a reason will click to open. So people will see the open rate, they'll click something to get more details. I'm satisfied with that. My business is not hurting. And in fact, sometimes I can't keep up with the amount of VIP customers. The launch kit stuff, this has nothing to do with it. You guys aren't here for launch kit. You guys are here for tactics and techniques beyond that. But let me show you when I create this, I'm lazy. So what I'll typically do, like today, is I will use the template system or I will use the duplication system. So for next week, today, I just literally sent it out 5 minutes before the show. So you can notice my open rate is a little less. When I want to do next week's show, I'm just going to click duplicate. And I'm going to take that format and I'm going to just take the words from the description in YouTube. I'm going to take the thumbnail. I'm going to take the link, and I'm able to get out the door really fast because I don't think I need to reinvent the wheel. The invention of the wheel being different is when I go to Canva, because I can have a lot of fun with Canva, like I showed you. So from a marketing standpoint, let's talk about tip number 4. Reuse and repurpose. Make a library of stuff. Use one of the tools inside of the Minute Launch, which is the Media Hub, in order to take either your Media Hub server, which would be probably the one where you're running Fluent CRM, or just do a different server, and you can use the Media Hub plugin in order to connect to it. And I won't go into that, but I do have, let me see if it actually Googles, WP Launchify Media Hub. I have a video on this. This just turns, yeah, here we go. This turns any WordPress site into a Media Hub that you can share using the media library. So I'll give you this link. This is in the software bundle. I'll put it in here. Watch this video if you want. But the idea is you can now take the content and store it in one place. Why do you want to do that? Reuse and repurpose means that when you talk to your agentic coding pals, you will be able, with the Minute Launch AI system, or even just now manually, to give it the address of a public WP content folder. What are you talking about, sons? Well, watch this. Even though I don't have it set up here, well, maybe I do. Hold on. I think I might have it in school WP. This is my test bed. Let me see if I've got it in here. But either way, I can show you how, if it's publicly available, the ChatGPT LLMs or using an agentic coding partner will be able to get to that stuff and use it. So let me see, for example, I won't belabor this, but I'm going to go here. Let me see if I got stuff in here, first of all. Okay, there's stuff in here. One of the things that you should know is that any of these images have like public URLs. So if I just took any of these, you can see here's the file URL, right? And so without belaboring the point, this is a public URL. If I took this and I said to let's pick another one. Let's use Notebook LM. I'm not a fan of, but I'll try it. What the hell? John is here, right? John, are you in here, John? There you are. John is a big fan of Notebook LM. We've had a lot of conversations about this. So I'm just going to use the free one. I'm going to see what happens. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm not against it. Okay. Let's put this in as a resource. And John would know better. John, tell me if I'm doing this wrong, but I'm going to say, I would like to see if you can scrape out or view the images from this public website repository. For example, I mistyped And you will notice that any images at that URL base can be viewed. Can you get a few? Let's see what it does. I know on my desktop this will work. I'm not sure. It doesn't like when I say scrape. And I'm not sure whether Notebook LLM is smart enough to do this. So John, give me some input on this, but I'm going to show you how I could do this otherwise. So can you see this image? Yeah. Okay. Notebook LLM is a bad choice. Let's go to a modern tool. Let's go to Gemini. Gemini loves this stuff. Images won't work. Okay. See, John, in our conversations, this might be something to talk about. Can you see this public image? I'm not in my right account, but it'll still work probably. Let's see what its attitude is about this, because this, okay. Right. Okay, cool. Can you see other images in that public directory? My point of getting to you on this is that with the tools that I'm building, your agentic partner will have access to all of your stuff. Carrie, Dr. Krieger, hello. Okay, see where it says like you can't browse, blah, blah, blah. You will be and can be when given the proper tool, which is awesome. So the point of my giving you this is that we will be able to use one of your WordPress sites, whether it's the Fluent CRM Hub, to save and repurpose, save and reuse the images you create, and then use the tools like I showed in the video to have a library that your agentic partner or yourself can use, so that you only need to make stuff one time, not 64 times and posting it to all these other websites, right? And that's super big deal. And I don't know if I've got it installed here. So just to give you a quick idea also, because it's not the purpose of that, but if I go to my plugins, let me see if I have the plugin that I'm talking about, which is the Media Hub plugin that I wrote. New Delhi. Normally you're on the East Coast of the United States. I hope you're having fun. Okay, so let's see if Media Hub is in here. Because I don't use this right now because I have the source, but I do save all of my image manually in one place. Okay, I don't have it. So what I could do is I can install this. I won't do it. It doesn't matter. I could install through LaunchKit the Media Hub plugin. Then I would have the access to sharing this thing publicly. I could use my AI tool, or I could get it from any other WordPress site. So I dump it into here. So my 1WD becomes a repository for all of the images that I want to use elsewhere. And it's awesome because hosting it through rocket.net, as I do, means that it's automatically got an optimized global CDN on all of the assets. Crazy, right? So if I go to my media library here, I don't know if I'm using that extra tool, but I've shown in the other video, there's a tool called Filebird, which you can use to really search and organize and quantify. In fact, it's okay. He said I could do this. If I go to Bernie's site, which I've been doing some stuff on, this is KPI Black Belt. Bernie has this set up in action with Filebird in the media library. So from a marketing standpoint, it's incredibly optimized to have one WordPress site, whether it's a standalone that's extra $20 for this, or it's part of your other thing, and be able to use it as your media hub. So this is what it would look like. Let me hide the notices. There we go. This is what it looks like when you have a directory. I gotta zoom it out a bit too, because it looks weird. Okay, hiding notices. Bernie's got some weird extra thing we don't need to see who the author is and so forth. But this lets you see all the files, but you can see how he's done a really nice job. He's very meticulous of organizing things in a certain way so that he could get to, this, that, the other. One of the things that's happening here is you don't need all of this extra uploaded to info, and it's screwing up the layout. There we go. Okay. So go into screen options. Sometimes you can turn off those extra columns that, the 9,000 words long. Okay, so depending on whether you look at it this way or you look at it in grid mode, which I think is an easier way of doing it, it's very easy to have thousands upon thousands of pieces of content that you could just choose from on any of your WordPress sites, or your AI can choose from it. And this is going to be a big part of what we're talking about, because now you've got something. Imagine all your WordPress sites, if they don't have to carry around a suitcase full of duplicate images and stuff, you can use the optimized image from the one site and go to town. And that's amazing. And to prove a point, for example, let's say if I took KPI black belt, right? This URL would work perfectly fine over here because it's optimized, right? So if I need a new page, or even better, let's go over here. I'm at 1WDTV, right? If I went back and I was in my Fluent dashboard and I made the campaign for next week, right? Let's just do it together. Email campaign. It's next week. I'm in a time machine. Spence is lazy. It's Friday, 7 in the morning. I duplicate today's thing because I'm lazy. Okay. I click here. I say replace, and then I can use Open Media Library, or I can use upload or reset. It doesn't make a difference. I can even just click on the image and replace it directly, right? Whichever way you do it. I'm going to do it this way. Let's do it. I would add before, and I would do image, and I would just do insert from URL, right? Ta-da, KPI black belt is today's subject. You see, it will work perfectly fine because it's hosted on a CDN optimized cloud server. It doesn't have to be your server. Nobody cares. So you get one thing. All right. Once I've got this established, I'm not going to go into the specifics of testing it. But one of the things that I do when I'm creating stuff is I'll save it, okay, here as a draft. And then I will do my naming, and I'm not going to go into that here. That's a whole topic. But I'll go here and I'll test an email after I set those things up. Why? Because everybody's email client is different. There's something like 485 email clients, maybe more now. If you make your formatting wacky, it's not going to show up really well. So I want to make sure that the words I say, the format comes through reasonably. And I use Gmail. So I just open it in my Gmail client, but you can use whatever tools you want, or an email tester. One of the tricks that I've come up with that really just makes this easier is I default to the simplest. Now, this is an argument point. I literally got into it. Let me do a sidebar with you. Got into it with positively with one of my clients who has a team that works for them. About their team was making these 1997 like 12,000 image long form emails. I was like, no, stop. Why? Because if you make those kind of emails in 2025 that are jillion miles long with images, and big sale for Frankenstein Day, okay, immediately, one of two things happens. One, the systems themselves go, I don't think so. No images will be shown. It just turns off the images. So you get like a skeleton of nothing. Or they just say, oh, I'm sorry, clearly this is a spammer, because no human being would ever act like this. Number two, people see a million miles, the first image, they go, sale for Frankenstein Day. And they go, oh, I'm busy. Listen, I got stuff to do. The kids got to go to school. I got to get work done. Like, I'll read this never. Okay. If, on the other hand, and by the way, Chris says you can do the same with forms, have your own WordPress. Yes. So any way you simplify and reuse is best. But another thing is, if you keep it simple, like a text message, just do the psychology from a marketing standpoint. Okay. Spence sends you an image versus Spence sends you a message. Let's do a test. Let's do online text editor. I love using this because it's so big. And it's so weird with this orange text. I feel like I'm in 1997. Okay. Let's imagine, because Sharon is on board with this, right? It goes spam, like before it even, gets cold. Here's the email. Hey, it's Spence. You gotta see this. I like to be not so campy. I mean, like, you could be cagey and campy and go like, this new thing, or you could just say this plugin I wrote, or you could take it farther and say, see this new WooCommerce tool. Get as specific as you want, but this is the kind of thing that I would text to a friend. Hey, it's Spence. You got to see that new Mission Impossible movie. Hey, it's Spence. Would you like to see the movie? And then inside I go, you have to check this out. It's about Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible. Here's the link, you know. Okay. And maybe check out this screenshot. Cheers. Spence. Why do I do it like this? If you send this, somebody sees everything they need to know in first view. And in fact, like I demonstrated with my own emails, people don't even need to open my emails to know what I'm talking about. Oh, this week it's vibe coding WordPress marketing stuff. Okay, I'm in. There's enough of you here to prove that it's working. Okay. If there's an image, if there's okay, it still feels like a text message, but it's not a text message. It's an email, and people can white label my emails so they get through. There's no big deal in here other than maybe I might put a very benign PNG of 180 kilobits that no email system cares about. And if they did, it wouldn't take away from the message because the message would stand alone, even if they got one of these weird, PNG file here. Okay. It doesn't matter. If you do one of these crazy old fashioned, like, it looks so beautiful, Beehive made a beautiful email, then you get what you deserve. Okay. You're just going to get a gargantuan mess that nobody reads anyway. Okay. Correct. They love to do flyers because it's so sexy to the person that never actually worked in the kitchen. Why don't you go buy one of those Betty Crocker cakes and just use that instead? Professional chef. I'm big on the voices today. The thing is, I think my biggest benefit to you guys and everybody else is I'm in there testing this stuff. I'm in there doing this stuff. And I've got clients. Some clients have 5 people on the list. Some have 50. Some have 5,000. Some have 50,000. Some have hundreds of thousands of people on the list. I'm seeing what's happening. Karina. Hello, Karina. Bueno. Karina is working with one of the clients that I mentioned, does 30,000 person webinars. They send out 30,000 plus emails. You can't dick around with this stuff if you have 30,000 people and half of them don't get it. And we've actually done a lot of this even on the website and stuff too. So let's talk about, like, from the standpoint of marketing, 2 things, because I got about 10 minutes before I'm at the end of my official call it a day. But last week I stayed for 90 minutes. And if you want, I can stay there. Let's talk about where this is going. Where are you sending people? Well, remember when I showed you this? Okay. One of the things that I learned from testing, and again, Rand Fishkin is a sort of professional pal online. I gave him a hard time about this. And at the time he looked at me like I was a lunatic, but now I was proven right. I said, let's look at how YouTube is really working for normal people that aren't Mr. Beast. Okay. Spence says 6.8. I have like less than 7,000 subscribers and I make a living that's as good or better than when I was a trial attorney. Okay. It's not because of YouTube. I don't even have monetization on YouTube, and I don't think I ever will because I don't want ads to show up in the middle of my stuff. I want you to do what? I want you to come to the health club where I'm selling my stuff. I want you to go to wplaunchify.com, the minute launch, or my homepage, and click the buttons and buy my stuff. I'm not trying to make a living as a YouTuber and every day make stupid videos. Not that YouTube is stupid. I love YouTube. I'm saying, like, stupid videos about like things that really aren't important. This is what's important. So for me, YouTube is a vehicle. But here's where I learned and proved this. And I was speaking to Rand Fishkin, and he kind of looked at me cross-eyes, but watch. Here's one of my older clients. Haven't had her as a client for a while, but I'm very happy to say we launched her ship and she's grown it into an incredible thing, all on her own effort. I just pointed her in the right direction, let's just say. If we go Marnie the Wing Girl, Marnie Kinress, she's killing it. Adult topic warning. Adult topic warning. Kids, leave the room. Marnie now has 1.39 million subscribers. She makes, I think, relatively daily videos, always had. She's lovely, has a family, lives on the West Coast. She's been talking about dating advice since she and I were about the same age, since the Friends show was on TV in the 90s. And she sells stuff that's created from about that era, still works, because dating advice for dudes is evergreen. We're just like dogs. We don't really change the way we act and think. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. So she makes a relatively daily video. This one is sort of benign. We're not going to play it, but I just want to show you the important part. Number one, she's got a routine formula with the way she sets up the videos. So when I'm saying to you about marketing, you do, Chris, we all came here for the adult topics. Of course we did. When I do my thing, what I helped her to see, but she was already very proficient at some video, was simplify, streamline, templatize, get less parts, less people. She moved from a crew of people down to, like, I think she may have one person helps her, certainly as an editor, but like she makes the videos in between the things of running her life. She's got kids and a busy life and a family. Having a template, her videos are 20 minutes or so. But she runs a script, has a teleprompter. She does a great job. She knows the topic. But here's the important part, the template, okay? Her templating is much exactly like I said. She's got the thumbnails that are generated by a system. Then right here, this is the money shot, kids. This is the adult reference. Make all women instantly attracted to you. Get the F formula here. Join my inner circle and make all women obsessed with you. Apply here. This is, I'm going to take responsibility for. Okay. Among other things. Why? Because I rebuilt her site, the Wing Girl Method, back in the day of Divi. Holy cow, Divi. We do not use that anymore. Look at how old fashioned her sales pages are. Look how young she looks in this. This is actually a newer video. I take it back, the thumbnail. Look at this picture here. She's got to be like 24 and she's a beautiful woman. So even age appropriate, she still looks gorgeous. But what I'm saying is we were both in our 20s probably when this photo and this stuff was created. Doesn't matter. It's evergreen. Look at that button. You haven't seen that kind of marketing button since I don't know when. Look at this long form sales letter. This makes me cry myself to sleep at night. Look, she was really, you know, she knew what she was talking about back in the day. And even so now. This sales page we left in place, even though I'll show you what we did here with Divi, we created back in the day. I don't know if it's crashing or let's see, Wing Girl. She is Wing Girl, the Wing Girl. Let's see which one. Wing Girl Method. Let's see what the website URL is here. Oh, she actually changed it to coaching with Marnie, I think. But oh, here it is. Wing Girl Method. Okay. So she picked one of them. So what we did is this. If you go to, I think it's under training programs. We simplified. Yes, this is Divi. It's like walking through a museum. Okay. Each of her products has just a buy now, learn more. But what we did is no shop page. We just made more of a like cool layout, like a fun go walk through the Guggenheim and pick your stuff. But every time she makes a video, I take responsibility for this part. She takes responsibility for 100% of everything else. This is what you want. You want that short video that shows up on the top. And the first thing people see is a link to go to where they need to go, right? Let's hope Spence follows his own advice. So if we go youtube.com/WP hopefully following my own advice, you will see the same thing. So for those fluent videos and so forth, if we go to, I don't know, I'm randomly picking one. I don't know, let's try this. There it is. If it's a generic video, get the minute launch system, okay? Because that is not only going to show, I know, right? Divi. Who uses Divi anymore? My God. The first thing people will see at the YouTube video, or if they are looking at this thing long form, these aren't really doing a long form, but when it's laid out, is typically that word, right? So if that was the featured video, let me see if it shows it this way. My format was thumbnails, not full wide. I don't know if I can change the layout of this, but I'm going to show you another way. If I go to YouTube and I look for how to order bamboo commerce, right? Let's see if it shows up in Google search. Here we go. Ta-da! I'm glad it worked out for me. Right there, it's not an active link, but it's still a link, okay? You get a free shot if you put the first line a link to whatever your sales page is. And your sales page could be exactly like what I do, which is I use the very same tools in the minute launch system optimized for repurpose, reuse. If I go over here, I'm going to take you to my shop, but we teach here how to use products as sales pages. So, for example, the Fluent Community Manager. Many of you might recognize this is just a product page, okay? But the product page using the minute launch system, launch flows, cadence, and so forth is a gorgeous sales page in and of itself, including the ability to get the plugin only, the software kit, including the instructions, a video, and even a link to the docs. So I reuse and repurpose because let's look under the kimono of this. If I make one really gorgeous layout, I can use this for all of my products, all of my services, all of my videos. And where I'm going with this is the stuff that I'm going to hand over to my AI buddy, because the AI really sucks at making cool, clever, beautiful stuff the way I want it every time. It's getting there, but it's really awesome at changing this stuff. I'll show you what I mean. So here's the layout using cadence and the blocks. You guys know that I can save this as a pattern so that it's ready to go. You guys have heard me talking that the minute launch system has got this new tool that's coming out very shortly called Cadence Replace, or whatever the hell I called it first. It's just going to be basically the Mad Libs. And what that means is if I have a placeholder here, instead of powerful editing tools, it says placeholder title, placeholder this, placeholder that. I can have one template to be used for all of my stuff. And whether the AI does it or not, the AI now knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say replace the title with something meaningful for today's topic from the library that I've got hosted for all of my images in one spot instead of paying for all these other things. You see where I'm going with this? The Minute Launch AI system is going to be training and teaching what the underlying factory tools are so that you don't have to do the 9 steps that I'm showing you. But even if you did the 9 steps I'm showing you, it's still faster, better, easier, gets better results than if you're just going rando and paying for Facebook ads. Watch this. I want to show you. This is pretty cool. I did this experiment with Vince. Vince, if you're here, give me a shout out. He has these amazing sites that he builds for things like Italian beef. You know, his clients do food, a lot of food stuff. But watch this. If I took this layout, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and either I could say copy all blocks, or I could go into code editor. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, if I go code editor, it's fine. It doesn't matter. I copy that out, and I go to ChatGPT or Claude, or let's go to Gemini. Gemini's good at this. Hey, Gemini, think like a WordPress expert, and I want you to take this product layout and change all the content, copy, and colors, and even generate and give me some new images if you can, so that I can create a new product called Spence Marketing Genius. Give me back the full ready to paste Cadence and Gutenberg code so I can create the page without any extra work. Okay, let's see what it does. I found in my experiment that when I tell it specifically that you start with this pre-made template, it doesn't get hung up on all the nuances that Cadence has right now, which is Cadence doesn't like when you create Cadence stuff from scratch. Cadence is only happy if you have a Cadence like wireframe and you change the stuff. I'll work on this in the future. I only got 2 hands and I like the summer. I'm going to go ride my bike a lot more. But if you start with this template, guess what? Who cares? Because if you do this and it's agentic, it'll be able to do all of the steps that I just showed you. And that's what I'm intending in the back end. You'll be able, with the Minute Launch AI component on top, and a couple of you have already signed up for this, to be able to have a start to finish marketing tool that goes from, I just have an idea about stuff, give me 30 days of content, to creating all the content, external tools or not, posting it, publishing it, doing the social, doing everything you need, and storing and saving it as responses inside of WordPress for future reuse or for future use, interacting with your customers and clients and people on the site. And that's where I think WordPress as a black box that holds all this, that nobody needs to know how it works, has an advantage over other systems like the third-party stuff, because we have so many cool factory robots to use, but the AI tool that we use has to know what they are and how to do it. Okay, it's given me some stuff. I have no idea what it's going to do, but let's find out. And we're going to put it in, we're going to go back here, and I'm going to go back to Exit Code Editor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a duplicate product or page. Let's just do, so I don't break WP Launchify too badly. Let's make a new blank product. And let's see what it gives us. One of the things I'm not a fan of with Gemini, which is kind of weird, is it doesn't necessarily give me the canvas right away. It kind of, what? That was weird. Did you see what just happened? It actually, it gave me the answer and then it shit the bed. I don't know why it did that. That's weird. You can do that. It's just changing out the text. Remember last week when I had to like remind it that you wrote something that was 2 weeks ago, it wrote that like instant plugin that was awesome for YouTube, and then it changed its mind because they've programmed this at Google to start being Google. And you can see it when they do the updates. It like goes from awesome to like, sorry, I can't talk about that anymore. It's just ridiculous. So if this doesn't work, I'll do a parallel. Let's do ChatGPT because ChatGPT never lets me down. Okay, I'm going to give it the same prompt, copy paste. Of course, I'd be happy to complete this. Of course I would. It's like dealing with a friend that's on some kind of new energy drink. Okay, we're going to let ChatGPT work on it. We'll see which one of these bad boy LLMs works better. I find it kind of silly. I don't use either of these anymore. I use my desktop using, currently I'm using, I forgot the name of it, .com, the code. What the hell is that? I'm using this one. It's called, there's so many names to keep track of. I'm so old. What is it called? You know, it's weird. I can't even think of the name of it and I can't get it to tell me the name because I feel ridiculous. I don't know why. Somebody help me out here. My goodness, I'm having like a brain fart. I think I'm short circuiting myself. Cursor. Thank you, Anne. My God, has that ever happened to you guys? So I'm using Cursor. Thank God you're here. Okay, so notice Claude has changed, or sorry, Gemini has changed its mind. I don't know why. Just swallowed a fly. I'm going to go into launch flows and I'm going to use the blank template for the product. And the blank product will mean we'll call this anything, you know, new product example. Watch what I do. If this works properly, since I've got the underlying stuff the same. If I copy this and I properly paste this, it should paste in like using a pattern. Oh, sorry, you know what it did? It actually pasted it, but it did it so fast that I missed it. I got to do it let's do that again. Okay, ready? Let's paste it and see what it does. Paste, and it's all here. It actually put the images in. Oh my God. It said it couldn't be done. Now, we don't need to worry about my title at the top. Some of this stuff is whacked because it's not capable always of matching up if I don't give it better instructions with the framework of cadence. This is still something I'm working on. So notice it did okay, but it just kind of gave me the stuff as is. That wasn't what I asked it to do. Let's see if ChatGPT does better. ChatGPT created a really ugly new image, which is not what I wanted. What I meant was, please stay with the cadence Gutenberg blocks and give me back that exactly, except change the content and colors, etc. Okay. I like that it's on the way to making some really cool images, but I don't like these. They always end up being very weird anyway. Instead, let's see if I can force this, because it'll go, oh, I'm sorry, I thought too much. And I think the reason is I probably would use a different model. This is just like a PhD. Let's go to the not so smart model. Instead of giving, like the PhD level of, I'm going to create this from scratch, I wanted it to just take me literally. And here's what it's thinking. Now, if I did this in Cursor, thank you, Anne, it's way better because Cursor uses whatever models in conversation, and it has this great conversation with me. I see this is going in the right direction because unlike Gemini, it didn't just decide to play a trick on me. Now, where am I going with all of this? Because we're going to wrap it up. It's 11:10. What I'm saying is the thought of how you market and who you market to should be, you find a group of individuals in one of the social places. It could be Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It could be LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. It could be a list that you have. Think I'm sending text messages. This is, by the way, tip 5. I'm sending text messages, but with email. And I'm thinking in terms of reuse and repurpose, optimize, less steps, template. I'm going to leverage the hole that Google has put in its entire system of getting me to the top of Google search, even in 2025, or YouTube, by simply using a few keywords that have a page that in the YouTube video links to my landing page, my sales pages. I'm going to use a template that's made with the minute launch under the hood so that I can take that. Right now, still a step, but in the future, the AI buddy that you have, which will be in the minute launch system head, will be able to understand that's what you really want it to look like. I'm just going to change the parameters with the placeholders to make it a different product instantly. And by the way, I can make 30 new products for you like as quick as that. In the future, we won't need this. We won't worry about it. But for right now, this is the bridge. This is the way we're going to make this happen. It kind of shit the bed here. So I'm just going to take some of what it did and see what it gave me. Okay. So let's take Gemini stuff and let's go full screen. And I'll do a little bit bigger. Okay. Let's see, even without finishing it, what we got out of that. Nice. Okay. Proving my point. It wasn't done, but look what it did. It changed the title, Spence Marketing Genius, right? It changed like the words of what it did. It made an invented product. It gave an invented YouTube. The point is, we don't need to reinvent every wheel. When you go to a store that sells products on the shelf, right? Every single box doesn't have to be exactly different for the same company. Sometimes like beef bouillon has chicken, beef, pork, vegetable, and it looks like the same thing other than the picture on it, right? And for my friend Vince, who's a genius, if we go to like his stuff, like ItalianBeef.com, by the way, made with the minute launch system with his genius of design. Look at this stuff. I'm getting hungry. Okay. These are all images that he made. He and I had a good time because he didn't believe me, but at the time there was something they have. See how they have these products that he spends a lot of effort and expertise on making the product shots. But we were debating and talking about this, Vince, if you're still here, but how we're going to make stuff that has like images that are hard to make. One of the ones we joked about, and this is what I'll leave you with because it was funny, is that we went to, I think we go to Google Image 4. I think it's called the Imager or whatever, Imagen 4. Okay. So what we did is this. I'll see if I can recreate it. We're like, can you make a picture of a big Chicago hot dog sliced in half that has square, you got to be really specific, square chunks of melting cheddar cheese inside and a hungry dog standing behind sorry, by the way, this is where if I talk to be faster, behind with a dark background and photorealistic style. Let's see what it makes. I don't know if this is the right tool or we have to go somewhere else, but it was crazy what it came up with. And even Vince, as a professional graphic designer his whole life, was like, game over. Like, he has to move into being knowledgeable enough to create the stuff, but not using the tools of the old fashioned, Photoshop and Adobe, sliding this and moving this, because those days are over. It's like literally what I just showed you here. I'm really hungry right now. That's ridiculous. But you see where this is going, right? Like, that may be not exactly what you want to have, but as just a goof and a first try, like, that would take a long time to create as a composite. And all I'm saying is, this is where we're going with all this stuff, where if your website has an agentic partner tied into it, you own it, control it, you sell it to your clients, the clients get all that benefit. It's programmed for their business. It can make automatically the text, the image, the templates, the copy, create products, my head is exploding, people. My head is exploding. Right. Because all of the things like Sharon and I and everybody else who've been doing this for a long time used to do, they used to require us to dick around with tools forever. I would spend a whole day trying to make an image. Trying to make a video could be a 12-hour process. Not anymore. So I encourage you guys, think about the new world we're living in, where everybody is getting bombarded endlessly with stuff, and where the agentic coding is now a definitive. And the tools that you're going to use, being a WordPress person already, are going to be WordPress, which gives you a huge leverage. $97 for a single site with all the stuff. $297 for 10 sites. You get 10 clients at a cost of under $30 per client. You can sell those at anywhere from $197 to unlimited per month, and then add you as the intermediary expert who is not any longer having to do all this heavy lifting. I'm giving you all the expertise from the top down. And if you go annually, you buy for $29.70, just the same stuff, just buy it annually. You're going to end up with, like many of you have done thus far, which is you're going to end up with my insider's benefit of all of the stuff I'm building on the back end. You're going to get this for you first. I mean, you still have to pay me a VIP if you want me to customize it for you, but you get to interact so I can see what you want and need to do. And some of you, I don't want to say and call you out, have taken me up on the offer. It's an incredible deal because $29.70 a year is less than $297 a month. That's 12 months for the price of 10. Just put it on your credit card, take the mileage, join me for this adventure building on the back end so that you have 10 sites for yourself, for your clients, for whatever. And then if you want, you could still get referrals. If you do individuals, you can get 20 a month, $240 a year by putting clients onto this. That's what I think Ann has decided to do. Or $200 a year if you do the same deal for the annual plan of your client. If you go with selling the pro accounts, this is insane. You get $600 a year from me recurring for just referring somebody to use this instead of go high level. Come on. Really? Would you go to high level when you've got all this in a box, owned and control? Well, okay. In any event, it's great to see you guys. I'm going to stretch out. Things have been improving. At the same time, I got a long road to go, but my mind is in it. Summer's here. I'm going to do a walk, a sauna, a meditation, a hot tub, take my son to lunch, go get him set up. He's going off to camp. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Join me for the Minute Launch System. Refer your friends, refer your clients. We are going full throttle with some new partnerships that I'll announce hopefully next week. It will make this something that I think is really going to scale out. Plus, I've got these just crazy results from the stuff that I've been building. And as you can tell, that's why I don't sleep. But last night I got my 8 hours, a little coffee, and I'm good to go. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I love you all. Thanks for your support. We'll see you on the next video.